Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to UuultraC. I just came back from the gym and ate some food. You guys will be hearing that a lot because I usually make these episodes after I come back from the gym. I go to the gym 5 times a week, so I won't always say this, but right now I'm kind of making up for lost time. I think I talked about this, but I didn't go to the gym because I got sick during the New Year's, and I have to make up, basically adding +1 to my gym days every week. So instead of 5, I do 6. And I'm probably gonna be done in about 2 more weeks. But yeah, I just ate some food and here I am back and ready to record some more UuultraC. So before anything, let's actually talk about the last episode recap. I'm also taking a look at the chapter list here, and if I'm actually looking at the amount of space between chapter 1 and load save, there's probably at least 3 more chapters of this game. Unless there's another epilogue or something, but it seems like there's another 3 chapters. Chapter 1 has been pretty fun so far, and it's actually really long. But let me just recap the last episode and, let's try to understand what the fuck just happened last episode. So in the last episode, we got picked up by Kobayashi. Kozuka was really unhappy about that, and we got into a fight again. Nothing really too major though. He was just like whining about it. He was still very, what's the word? Very caring about us because there was like a hero siren going off when we were helping out at the manager's place where we did the newspaper delivery again, and turns out it was a pretty scandalous poster or flyer, and we were putting it in an apartment complex, and yeah, we had really bad thoughts, and I guess Roboco kind of found out that we were gonna change into a kaiju, so he sounded the alarm before that happened. And yes, we know for a fact that we are kaiju. It's been hinted a lot in the couple of episodes that we did, but never really shown. It turns out, yeah, we are kaiju. And you know what else? Kozuka turns out to be the red Icarus. The white Icarus turns out to be Ishiki. They duked it out. And then, yeah. Oh, forgot to mention the reason why we know about that is because Sakura actually got killed in this oil refinery place by Kozuka. And that's when we turned into the kaiju. Fully turned into the kaiju. After that, it was really a lot of just action scenes back to back to back. Kozuka, there was some drama about finding out that Kozuka was the Red Icarus, and also the fact that we were kaiju, but it kind of resolved itself pretty easily. So at that point, I was still following the story, right? What was kind of crazy past that point was that Kozuka was fighting against the White Icarus, which is Ishiki. He lost his limbs, which is a left arm and right leg, and we confronted Ishiki. We told him, give back the lost limbs, and he told us that he wants to move this iron giant that we saw a couple of episodes ago in the orange building, orange what do you call it, headquarters. And yeah, it turns out what Chotsugai said about our dad was correct. Our dad was a high member of this researcher thing, and he was the one that made the Iron Giant. So after that, we destroyed the controller that was going to move the Iron Giant, and it proceeded to just get back into like action scenes again and again and again. At some point, Ishiki said that he also took Kozuka's art and he just like splattered it. So he was dead, right? At least that's what you think. But then we fought the White Icarus, and we of course lost. But our dad saved us, which is Roboco, mind you. Roboco inside that outfit was actually Tetsugoro Kagome, which is our dad. He sent us to this Sun Pillar place, which I still have no idea what that place is, but it seems to be like multiple worlds happening at the same time, so we can jump into worlds. So something like an isekai or whatever? I don't know. But in that place, Kozuka was alive. Ishiki like went after us, and for some reason, like Kozuka, the real Kozuka, you know, the previous world's Kozuka was still alive too, and he came after us. I'm so confused at that point, like what the fuck is going on? And then Ishiki was telling us about the fact that all of this turned out to be the master scheme of Yomi, which is Hibarino, the guy who the guy who is basically Orange's leader. And he was the one calling the shots about attacking Shotaro, attacking Icarus, you know, killing the kaijus or whatever, making the Iron Giant move. It was all a ploy to get Tetsugoro Kagome to show himself. And yeah, he got Tetsugoro Kagome now. And also Shotaro, I believe. But yeah, they destroyed the Sun Pillar, and they don't know how to get back to the original world. And now we're in Kozuka's perspective. It's so weird. I'm like retelling you guys what happened on the previous episode, and it's still hard for me to believe what the fuck just happened like halfway through the last episode. Kinda crazy. But yeah, this is exactly what happened after I said, so let's see what's gonna happen next. The Seiju's sky was bright, no, hot. We're also teaming up with Ishiki. Kinda? No, we're not really teaming up with him anymore. We were kinda teaming up, trying to get information about what's going on with Yomi. But after that, I think this is already the same world again. How they got here, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. But there's this guy called Taro who said that the signal was beeping or whatever, and we're trying to get to Juro Sayashi, which is the Black Icarus right now. The shrill sounds of the hero sirens were playing over each other, creating a cacophony of noise. The flames were even closing in on the roof where we'd been summoned. And last episode, I said this game was reminding me of this this movie anime called Promare. I actually had to look it up. But turns out, no, it's not the same. It's not the same director, it's not the same author. But this game came out in 2020, and Promare came out in 2019, so maybe this game actually was you know, got inspiration from that movie, I think. I don't know though. I rushed over to Shin and Fujiko to help them, but who's Shin? Who's Fujiko? What the fuck? Who are those? Trouble sank into my back. I could handle this much at least. It was no big deal, but why wasn't he saying anything? Doing. There wasn't even time to shout. An even stronger kick shattered my leg. I shouldn't have let my guard down. He was coming toward me. The fire behind him made him look even darker than the pitch-black void. I can't die here. But he's too strong. Stand up, legs. Stand. Why is he attacking us? And who is those Shin and whatever the other guy's name was? I already forgot. How can you face Sho if you can't even do that? Okay, back in Sho's perspective again. A long time ago, I lived in an apartment on a sunny hill. My father would tell me not to wander off, and would never let go of my hand. One morning, when we were about to go out, there was a loud noise that made us turn around. There was a man on the ground bleeding. I let go of my father's hand and ran up to the man. I thought, I need to help him. My father grabbed me and ran away. The man got up and slashed my father's back with his long claws. Probably a kaiju. The man spewed orange blood. There was something he wanted to give us before he burned through his life. It was the indiscriminate hatred I had felt for the first time in my life. Surprised the dad is still alive after that. It was a dream. I could see my father's back. There were silent sparks flying out in the dim room. I immediately got up and ran up behind him.
父さん
Usually after I did the last episode recap, I kinda understand what the fuck's going on more. But in this game, I kinda don't. I guess it was just that ridiculous of a scene that happened in the previous episode. He didn't answer. He was repairing the remote control I'd broke. His eyes were a black swirling vortex. They were the same color as Hiborino's eyes. Mind control. My father was being controlled. When I looked around the room, I saw someone standing against the light coming in from the door.
進展はいかがですか
Why is his name like a triangle now? He was no longer the Hiborino I knew.
お困りの様子でしたらお呼びくださいどこに行くんだちょっとそこまでふざけるな
He actually said, don't fuck around.
ふざけてなど父さんを元に戻すんだすみませんがそれはできません
He was truly sorry.
自分はこの地球を侵略しに来ました
This guy an alien?
すべての生物をしもべに変え住みやすい環境に整えることそれが自分の役目しもべってあなたたちが怪獣またはイカロスと呼んでいるものです
That was exactly the kind of thing a villain would say. My father and I had been captured by this villain. My entire body tensed when I tried to approach him. When I looked into his eyes, it felt like I had pins holding me back. Only my mouth and my thoughts were permitted to move.
蝶津貝さんはどこにいるの彼は死にましたアキラ君はさあ君はみんなを騙してたんだええ
The door closed. His footsteps grew distant.
もうこの星に興味はありません自分はただ帰りたいだけなのです帰り道は博士とあなたにしか作れない
Akira, you can't fight this man. There's no way to defeat him. So what? Wants the giant robot? Someone's voice woke me up. So that's what he said, but can he actually not go back? He said only my dad can actually be the one that gets him back. But I feel like what he's making us do is just what he's trying to do is just make the Icarus and Kaiju into slaves again. Someone's voice woke me up. I got up and saw dark clouds rolling across the skies and smoke billowing throughout the city. The sounds of the hero sirens overlapped.
先輩シン
What the hell was that monster?
警察も軍隊も全く機能してないっす
何かに操られたみたいにさ
Who are these Shin and Fujiko? These are suddenly just thrown out here without us knowing who they fucking are.
鞘師は
The two of them fell silent. Were we all still in a nightmare? I thought of Sayashi, clenched my fist, but couldn't transform into Icarus. I'm guessing they're the other Icarus, but, you know. Really, would it be like that hard to introduce them before they suddenly show these guys? And they don't even have a fucking sprite.
変身できなくなってるんす
もともと十郎さんからもらった力消すことだって簡単なのさ
All we could do was listen to these ridiculously cheerful sirens and do nothing?
ああそういうことか鞘師さん俺っちたちのために変身能力を奪ったんじゃ
Okay, I was gonna say, Shin actually sounds like Hayata, so... I was gonna say that, but turns out it's true. That was more so of a familiar voice kind of thing, not really a gut feeling or anything. But I didn't really say it out loud yet because, you know, I could be mistaken. Since I've only listened to what? 3 voice lines of his?
戦うなって
Okay, Fujiko is his girlfriend?
ありえね
So I guess at this point, we don't even know whether or not that's true. They might just be lying.
え。でもそれ以外に理由が浮かばねえっす。だって俺っちたち。
I didn't need praise. We risked our lives because we all had something we wanted to protect. But that's how Hayata and Kozuka knew each other. Not that we couldn't.
指くわえて見てろってんだろ。
It was a punishment worse than death. Now Shin was the one crying. What could we do without our Dora tiles? What? Dora tiles? That's what makes you guys able to transform? Isn't Dora something you use in Mahjong?
みんなすまない。
What? Okay, that's Juro, so I guess the one inside of the black suit is not Juro. The naked old man said, he'd been standing on top of the roof the whole time, but we were doing our best not to look at him. Shin began to wail even louder. Thanks for censoring that, for me, game. Fujiko covered her face to hide her tears. My head drooped as well.
みんな、僕が太郎だ。
Huh? What? But you're clearly Juro, though. Right? The fuck?
本当に太郎ちゃん記憶が戻ったの
So confused at this game. This game is so much. There's so much randomness in this game. I'm so confused.
はえ、ご立派。はあ、ナムナム。
The Icarus Rangers were back to their stupid selves. Then, maybe it was too soon to give up.
今一番かっけえと思う姿に化けてみろ。今の僕は無力だ。好きで全裸でいるわけじゃない。耳、生えたまんまだぞ。
There were dog ears coming out from the naked old man's head. He's not even that old. You're still some weird creature. If you can turn into a sun pillar, you should be able to change into anything. What? He was the one that changed into a sun pillar, and that's how we got back to this place via his portal? But how did he come into the portal when he's the portal? See, that doesn't make sense to me. This game is so much bullshit. They better fucking explain what the fuck is going on in this game at sometime soon. It was different from the scooter Sayashi rode. A bike with unnecessarily cool mufflers appeared.
お前らここにいろ。あのでかいやつ止めてくる。でも先輩。死ぬわけはねえよ。
その自信どっから来るのさ
I'm the main character. I'll fight using that as my Dora tile. What is the Dora tile? When I gave them a determined look, they began to rub their arms. The Dora tile like some sort of Deus Ex Machina thing that makes you not able to get killed? No?
なんか寒いっす。
あたいも
凍えてろザコども。
I drove off the roof. I felt the weight of the impact throughout my entire body. I cut a straight line through the mountain of rubble. Hero sirens weren't there to inspire superheroes. I feel like the scale of this game just got way too big for some weird reason, and that's why I'm not able to follow it. We were like trying to save Sakura and then suddenly this all happened. They played to reassure the people hearing them. If I ran away and ignored them, I'd be betraying thousands of faceless strangers. Who cares? Strangers? That's why you don't care about, betraying them. Adding on to guilt and regret, I had no choice but to charge ahead. Oh well, can't stop now.
アキラー
He's so annoying.
君に伝えたいことがある。翔ちゃんを助けてくれ。当たり前だろ。邪魔だどけ。彼は今鉄人の真下にいる。地下鉄に沿った動きだ。
It really was a professional show stalker. Yeah, I guess this guy must have put like some sort of bug on show. That's why he knew.
君は地下鉄へ行ってくれ。俺はできる限り足止めする。
All this guy ever did was lie to me. There was no way in hell I could trust him now. Nevertheless, the way he felt about Sho was definitely genuine.
小林、なんだ頼みがある。
We went into the subway. Taro's high beams cut through the tracks all the way up ahead. The subway shook with every step from the Iron Man. Disgusting dust felt like snow. I saw the shadow of a figure. I slammed on Taro's brakes and was thrown forward. I landed safely and kept running.
Shota!
I wanted to get out of this creepy place as quickly as possible. But there was a vortex in the eyes looking up at me. Even in the darkness, the blackness in his eyes stood out against Taro's light.
あなたが来るのは分かっていました。
誰もてめえに用はねえ。
カゴメさんには自分についてきてもらいます。リモコンは彼にしか動かせないので。
If Sho wasn't going to let go of the control, I'd have to carry him.
カゴメさんを返せない代わりに、あなたの妹さんを返しましょう。
The real one?
怪獣のいないあちらの世界では、あなたと妹さんは生きています。
Yeah, we saw that.
あなたが彼になり変われば。
He was a monster that couldn't understand human emotions.
ためらいなくぶっ殺せる。
そう言うだろうとも思っていました。
How dare you make Sho laugh like a creep? The blood throughout my body began to boil. My hair stood on end and my nails split. So this was how it felt to become a kaiju. Actually, you know, to be honest, I understand Yomi's feelings a lot more than you guys. You guys are the one that that I don't understand for the most part. You guys are way too passionate about stuff. Taro drove away with Sho. The Iron Man's fist broke through the ceiling. Going back a few minutes.
小林、なんだ頼みがある。俺を怪獣にしろ。何？俺はイカロスの資格を失った。だが怪獣になれば。
Yeah, truth be told, I guess Icarus and Kaiju are two sides of the same coin, right?
貴様とセックスしろというのか？
Just give me your blood.
なわけねえだろ。
I guess they're exchanged by bodily fluids.
正気じゃない。お断りだ。俺には愛する妻と子がいるんだ。貴様も翔ちゃんを裏切るつもりか？何を教わってきたか知らねえが、感染方法はそれだけじゃねえ。てめえの血を俺の目に入れろ。
Okay, it's not bodily fluids. It has to be exactly blood. Okay. Because we've had sex with. Well, then again, we were the one that shoved our dick inside of, you know, Sho instead of the other way around. So maybe it can be bodily fluids.
けだもの、アブノーマル。だー！
I really hate this guy. I could see the Iron Man's giant body from the air hole. There was a black dust storm around its head. And there was a black swallow beside it. So I guess Juro was the one that gave, you know, other people's powers for Icarus. Is the powers like hereditary? Or what? Or is it literally just from those Dora tiles? I don't know. We heard that Shotsugai said that Juro slept his way up though. So before he was Icarus, who was Icarus? Could be his dad, but why would he need to sleep his way up if that was the case? Then again, maybe that sleeping up thing was actually just a lie. It was just a scandal. You know, a rumor. My goal was to give Taro time to escape. Once I was back above ground, I could see even more of its eerie form. What the hell? There are countless threads undulating around the dust storm. Could someone lend me a mirror so I can see myself before I fight this guy? Suddenly, I hear footsteps coming toward me. Shin, Fujiko, and Kobayashi. Okay, everyone got turned into kaijus. They all had orange eyes, like me. Shin and Fujiko made pretty cool kaiju. I was guessing I did too.
あなたたちは怪獣のはず。ですがどうして
He could control the other kaiju, but he wasn't able to control us.
てめえが悪い宇宙人なら俺らは地球由来のヒーローだ。
ああ、そういうことですか。
So Yomi might have been the first kaiju infection. No, I don't buy it. This is some Deus Ex Machina shit. If you're not, if you're blocking his control right here.
ですがもうすぐ終わります。
The Iron Man put its cocoon-like hand to its chest.
カゴメさんをお借りしますね。
I wasn't the only one trembling right now. The drag queen and show were proof that even kaiju could become superheroes. Raccoon? Who? We probably could too if we put our minds to it. Oh, I guess Ishiki. I'd tear him limb from limb. I'd make him lose everything and force him to apologize to the human race. It was definitely Sayashi I'd clashed into.
操られてなんかいねえだろ。
Yeah, see, even his kaiju form is basically Icarus Red. Even without words, I could tell there wasn't even the slightest amount of bloodlust behind his attack.
君たちを皆殺しにする。黄泉のためだけに戦う。
You have any idea what kind of monster is standing in front of you? Can't you see? Okay, so he must be also a kaiju that got infected. Yeah, Icarus and kaiju are basically the same then, right? At this point, that's basically what they're telling us. He was probably one of the very first few infected. I played against you 4 times. Today, I'll bet all my luck on a last-minute Hompusen. I'm guessing that's also some mahjong thing? I'll make my comeback and beat you over and over again.
黄泉には触れさせない。
Before I could even reach him, I was eating dirt. Jigoku Tanki was my least favorite strategy. Oh my god, all these mahjong things that I don't understand! All of them are fucking red, bro. Sayashi's like cracked. He looked shocked for the first time, but his strength he could barely hold back. Kobayashi. Shin came at Sayashi from the side with a dropkick. Wow, all of these guys are red. Shin. The sun now peeking up from behind the clouds exposed Fujiko's shadow coming at him from behind. Fujiko. They all turned into smoke. He was engulfed in the stardust that came only from kaiju killed by Icarus.
無駄死にか。
No, they didn't.
捨て牌よく読みやがれ。
The black pseudobus stood out in the middle of the smoke. I got him. I had him. This time, it'd be your chest, my... Suddenly, time stopped. In one moment, my body slipped past him. In the next, the smoke was gone. Is someone actually able to time stop? What the hell? Was I cut in half? It hurts. There's so many disconnects in this story that I'm forced to make assumptions so much, but it's impossible. There's just too many disconnects. The dots are way too far from each other. It might have been better if Sayashi had killed me. Joe. Looks like I'm the villain no matter where I go. That had to be it. Thank you for calling me a hero. So wake up already. The main character is... What is going on? That's supposed to be a reference for something?
は大気の層を飛び越えた。その日、その光景を見た者は。
Oh, sorry about that. The elbow rocket. The knuckle bomber. How is the dat not controlled anymore?
さよなら。ジュロ。
Yeah, Juro did like Yomi, or at least he had absolute faith on Yomi. In Yomi. So what the fuck happened? We blast them out of space, and then what? The remote fell out of my hands. My body was slowly falling. I reached out to grab onto someone, but I slipped out of everyone's fingers. The kaiju were above. The toy was below. Things were falling and things were floating. No one seemed to be able to choose which way they were going. I landed on something soft. I saw a long and narrow sky. I was being supported by trash bags. Oh, my eyes are fully black. Am I not a kaiju anymore? I eventually lowered my hand and stood up alone in an alley. Smelling coffee, I remembered the conversation about the instinct to find one's way home. Ibarino had told me about it in an effect to make me feel better about losing Sakura. Family would always find their way back to family. I don't think so. My feet took me straight to Sparrow House. The whole world seemed different, but my apartment was where it always was. So is the landlady my
お
mom?
かえり翔太郎
Progress and harmony of mankind. People crying and laughing were being broadcast over the TV. My father only laughed once, though. The serious look in his eyes at sunset was starting to make me nervous.
お前に謝らなければならないことがある彼はお前を連れ戻す条件に鉄人の再開発を求めてきた
His condition for bringing you back was to rebuild the Iron Man. Right. He said that I killed myself, right? On the previous episode. So this Shotaro is probably from the other world. Maybe.
彼を欺いてお前を連れ戻すはずが
父さんにまた会えて嬉しいです。
I interrupted the rest of his sentence. It wasn't his fault I was put in danger. It wasn't anyone's fault. All that mattered was that I was able to come back to Sparrow House. My father cried.
翔太郎3人で暮らそう
The landlady was sitting next to my father. He broke into a smile as he put his arm around her. He looked surprised. No, this definitely isn't my mom then. Afterwards, her face relaxed as she placed her hand over his.
あちらの世界で
かくまううちに
芽生えた愛
I'm trying to understand what the hell is going on.
新しいお母さんだ
I was a little shocked, but
父さんが幸せになること母さんも望んでると思う。大家さんの旦那さんもきっと。
okay, they're both widows. Well, I don't know if a guy that lost his wife is a widow. Maybe it's a widower? I don't know. When Severino was defeated, the two worlds became one, and now everyone had two sets of memories. What? Huh? So was he the one that created the world or separated the world or something? What the fuck? I mean, I guess alien technology can do something, but what the fuck? Perhaps the things we couldn't see could be called souls. The soul that had been wandering this world was now inside me. Akira, I'm sure I'll be able to find your soul wherever it went. I thought about him as I climbed the emergency staircase of a publishing company building, floor by floor, until I reached the roof. The huge setting sun was plastered against the sky. Even the sky on the opposite side of it was a deep orange. It wouldn't be night for a while. I walked up to the duct. I died here a year ago. Wanting to know the truth about my suicide, my father did what Hibarino asked. Why did we kill ourselves? They're kaiju? It wasn't suicide. The me in this world just wanted to protect the swallow's nest too. What? What are you talking about? What did you do? The duck was... Oh! The swallow's nest. He saw the swallow up in the roof, right? In the other world, Kozuka was the one who saved it. In this one, he tried to do it himself and he died. Wow, what a sad death. The duck was fixed nicely. The swallow's nest was gone without a trace. It must have been destroyed. A black shadow flew by me. Another one followed. Swallows. I watched them flap their wings, then circled around back to a nest. It was safely perched on the wall where it was unlikely to be disturbed. Some kind person must have moved it there. Someone must have realized what I was trying to do before I lost my life. I'd lived this time. Even if I had no reason to live, even if I had someone who needed me or not, I'd live. I'd live as long as my existence could change things like this. I needed to get back home. If my father knew I was here, he'd worry. Gah, gah. Good god, what the fuck?
アキラくん間に合った
I guess this is the other world's Akira. Technically, he should still be alive because he was alive there. And, you know, the memory should be joined together now. What?
探したぜ
だって君
Didn't you die? Weren't you killed? Weren't you split in half? But the smile belonged to no one other than Akira. The same Akira that knew everything that led to this moment. He suddenly let go. I thought he was smiling, but his mouth had twisted into an annoyed frown.
ツバメの巣なんかほっとけよそれで自分が落っこっちまったんじゃしょうがねえだろ
君が映してくれたんだね
そこまでされたら大事なもんかと思ってよ
Swallows didn't destroy their own nests. Once they left their nest and it was empty, other swallows would make it their home. It was like an apartment. That was why I wanted to take care of it.
ありがとうアキラくん
I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like he died meaninglessly. Like, I get that's what he's thinking. I get the, you know, emotions behind it, the feelings behind it. But what a waste of a death. Thank you for always protecting everyone. But then again, that's just my opinion, right? If he was content with his own death, then who am I to say?
はあ、追いつかれへんわ。
Okay, this is Sakura. So is Sakura actually the reincarnation or whatever? Clearly she has the same Kansai accent. Hair the same color as Sakura's fluttered in the wind. Why did Sakura turn into Sakura in the other world then? When clearly this is her sister or his sister. Or what? Did Hibarino also resurrect Sakura? I don't know. Almond eyes identical to his spotted me and smiled.
ただいま、翔ちゃんさん。
さあ。
さくらちゃん
So confusing, this game. Well, that's the end of the first chapter, I guess. I'm gonna be quiet while you enjoy this opening, or whatever this is. super loud, by the way, so I actually turned it down there. Oh, it's the same song. What an interesting lyric. Oh wow, this is the full like version or something. What the hell is chapter 2 gonna be about? I'm so confused now. I feel like this is all like a full story. Well, we don't have a lot of characterization though. Maybe we're gonna see a lot of perspective from other people like Chotsukai or our dad. Guess we'll see. That like sensor was so useless because you can still see the like hiragana, and even the subtitle was still translating it. Okay, the mixing of this game really needs some work. That was insanely loud. Okay, back to make it louder again. I came back from my morning deliveries and slipped into the... What? Oh my god, is this gonna be like... Oh no. Isn't this the beginning of the game? And slip into the futon. Two eyes opened slowly when I did. It was going to be one of those mornings. He left his Shibamata apartment and began living with me again a month ago. There were mornings like this sometimes. When I laid down next to him, I could hear my father father snoring. Not.
こんなに床が薄いとは。じゃあ今まで俺たちの声も丸聞こえ。
I got a headache when I thought about Sally and the landlady.
だから家買った。
He hugged me tight.
引っ越すぞ。
Well, he was an actor, so I guess he's technically rich. Why did he live like that, though?
どうだ、翔ちゃん。夢のマイハウス。
Is it a bad house? He definitely hyped it up, so I wasn't really sure what to think. Akira triumphantly went inside. I hesitantly followed, but the entranceway had also been exaggerated. With my bag still in my hands, I wasn't able to move for a moment.
表札は小塚にしたぜ。なんか照れんな。前より駅近。便利だぜ。
Oh my god, and that's way too close. The Odakyu Express train blared its horn as it passed. Why did he pick this place? He really couldn't find anything better? As the buyer, he must have gotten a tour. He walked into the house like he knew where he was going while looking proud of himself. He might have seen things differently.
あら、こんにちは。
War?
隣の下宿の管理人、藍染です。
Okay.
はじめまして。僕は
小塚っす。
Akira slipped on his geta and ran up to us. He sounded awfully cheerful. I couldn't help but turn away.
これつまらねえものですが。
あら。
タオルの詰め合わせです。
私は人の2倍は使うのよ。嬉しいわ。
What for?
よろしくね、小塚くん。
うっす。
Took the bags from my hands and went back into the house all smiles. Aizume came close to me for some reason.
あなたはお友達？
はい。
ここ、お化けが出るって噂なの。怖くなったらいつでもいらっしゃい。小塚くんならお家賃はいらないわ。
What? Is clearly into him. What the fuck?
それってどういう？
She left. Her swaying backside looked like a black goldfish.
翔ちゃん。
Haunted. Honestly, it'd be more strange if there were no ghosts here.
なかなかいい家だろ。
It is your style.
お、ヤモリいる。
Even in a world without kaiju, Akira was a manga artist. Wait, are the kaiju gone now because the alien's gone? Is that what's going on? He was always running around to different places in his work as an assistant, and then he'd work on his own manga night after night. He secretly saved up all that money so he could buy this house. I forgot to say something important.
ありがとう、アキラくん。頑張って片付けよう。
Wait, so is chapter 1 done here or is this still chapter 1?
お、
When we got to the bedroom on the second floor, there was a human-shaped dent in the tatami.
ちゃんと内見した？
Someone die here?
もちろん。何十軒も回ってここが一番だった。決め手は安さだな。スズメソウ1ヶ月分だ。
それ一番ダメなやつだよ。
This was where Kozuka would die. He rubbed my back as I curled up, but it didn't comfort me at all. I mean, you don't know whether or not you're gonna die at home. You don't know that, show. Suddenly, I heard the lifeless sputter of an engine coming closer. Akira grinned and went toward the window.
シン先輩例の物持ってきたっすよ
The goods? That sounded ominous, too. When I rushed over to the window, I saw 6 tatami mats on top of the car. After seeing the defective ones, changing the tatami wouldn't really help me psychologically. This time, a red sports car drove up. Despite the narrow road, it pulled up on the other side of Hayata's car. The one who got out in a huff was...
アキラ小林
Trying to see people's eyes again. I guess, yeah, there is no kaiju no more. Sally came out from the passenger seat. Why is she with Kobayashi?
ちょっと一体何の騒ぎだい？
警官として忠告する解消のないやつが家を買うなはあ嫉妬かどうせ安さが決め手だろうだからなんだ翔ちゃんがいりゃどこだろうが都なんだよ一家心中の現場だとしてもか
Akira slammed the window shut. I mean, that's the reason why it's so cheap. I personally wouldn't care myself. Like, I don't care if people actually died here. The house, still looking good. I couldn't just pretend I didn't hear that.
やっぱり涼めそうに。
失望しねえでくれ翔ちゃんに喜んでもらいたくて買ったんだ
わかってるよ。
ちゃんと綺麗にすっから
アキラくん。
It hurt my heart to see him so sad.
翔ちゃんまさかまたほだされたんじゃないだろうな
I opened the window and waved.
片付ければ大丈夫。
いわくつきだぞ
この地球上で人が死んでいない場所なんてない。
Yeah, I agree.
その発言がすでに極限状態だ
I could understand why he was worried. Right as I was wondering how I'd calm him down, Hayata smacked him with the corner of the tatami mat.
ちょうど人手が足りなかったんす
He handed him a large roll of tatami. Kobayashi snatched it from him. How big are tatami mats anyway? Is it like 1 meter times 1 meter? Sally had been standing there helplessly, so Fujiko handed her a desk cloth. It was a noisy but cheerful April afternoon. It was kind of like the end of a manga series. All the people I had met were now coming together to work toward one goal. Well, we did know, you know, at the end here, we kind of met someone new with that Izume chick. I wonder what her role is going to be. This time there was no danger, though. I didn't have to worry about losing anyone, or anyone getting hurt here. Even this reflection on past events was like a manga. And this is a visual novel show.
じゃ俺っちたちはこれで
And this house really looks fucked up, though. You guys really need to renovate. The outside of it looks really bad.
まだ終わってないけどいいのかい？
あとは俺がやるありがとなまた呼んでください小林てめえもまた来いよ
They were like oil and fire. It did feel like they were a little closer now, though. Sally was the only one standing there, not sure what to do.
いやいや
なんて
Began to cry.
なんて
寂しいみたい。
そんなに好かれてたっけ
サリーさんは君のファンなんだ。
Yeah, she did have your book after all. Alright.
ここ、スズメ荘から歩いて10分くらいだから、すぐに会えるよ。
バイ
Well, that settled that, kinda. We said our goodbyes, and then it was just the two of us again. Akira gave me a carefree smile. It's gonna be smut again, isn't it? It's smut o'clock, right, game? I love that smile. Before, now, and forever. There's one thing I was keeping a secret from Akira. As long as I kept it to myself and smiled, he'd probably never notice. at night.
まだ死んでる。
After coming back from the bathhouse, we slipped into our futon. Unable to sleep on the second floor, we ended up making the guest room our bedroom. When Kozuka said dead, he meant my face. Could always sell. Why did we call him Kozuka again? Didn't we start to call him Akira? When I was in a bad mood.
家のこと、やっぱ怒ってる？
I turned away from him and stared at the shouju. Akira hugged me from behind. Inconsistent localization, I hate that. He felt a lot warmer than me.
翔ちゃんって本当は体温低いのな。
He squeezed my left hand. His warmth spread through it. A high body temperature was a side effect of being a kaiju. But now,
もうカイロじゃねえんだな。
I could no longer be Akira's warmth. It was my only redeeming trait.
冷たくて悪かったな。
I pushed him away and laid on my stomach, hiding my hands.
そんなつもりじゃ。
ごめん。
He was glad in his own way I was no longer a kaiju. I knew that, but I was still being cruel and ignoring him.
小林に嫌な当たりしたことか？
And the romance in this game, I feel like I just can't relate, dude. Whenever like they're doing some of these slapstick like romance shit, I'm like, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Let's hurry this up, shall we?
違う。
シンが祝いにくれたタオル、配っちまったこと？
Oh, those are not actually for her.
あれって。
I thought Akira had bought them specifically for that purpose, typo. That's actually the first typo, I think.
藍染さんと仲良くしたことか？
Bingo, most likely.
全部違うよ。
Yeah, that's pretty easy to spot.
あ、間があった。嬉しい。
嬉しいってなんだよ。
What the fuck? When I turned around, angry, Akira fell back with his eyes wide open. Why are you naked suddenly? How long had he been naked?
このエロ漫画家。知ってるんだぞ。成人雑誌に掲載してること。
He lied to me when he said he published one-shots in Shonen Jump. So dumb. It was actually serialized in a porn magazine. Akira poked my angry cheek. I wanted to use my judo moves to throw him over my shoulder, but my cheeks flushed on their own.
トカゲ怪人と女ヒーローのエッチって第1話の濃度じゃない。
読んだの？
牛久さんが教えてくれた。
なんであいつ？
Who's Ushiku again? Just happened to call to congratulate Akira on getting published by another company. Oh, it's the editor, right? The editor that had like 3 lines. I was curious, so I went to a bookstore. I thought the plot about a kaiju and a superhero living together as a couple was entertaining, though. Akira shrunk back, dejected. I could easily imagine him as a dog or a fox with his ears flying flat as he whined.
俺は嘘書くのが苦手だ。翔ちゃんとのこと生かしちまってすまね
全然生きてないよ。いや、いいんだ。いいんだよ。君のお話、結構好きだよ。
え。翔ちゃん。
Alright, just have sex so I don't have to see any more of this garbage. Please. This is so trash. He was probably wondering why I was so angry then.
君の描くヒロイン、藍染さんそっくりだね。
Our ideals came out in our drawings. Didn't that mean he actually had a thing for that type of woman? His ideal woman existed in real life. Couldn't he be tempted to go after her?
全く似てねえよ。
似てるよ。
どんなとこが？
Her light skin, her somewhat naturally curly hair. Akira's heroine was a trademark 29-year-old woman in red lipstick. His Izume looked exactly like his heroine. She must have got one look at that and instantly warmed up to Akira. I felt inferior as soon as I saw her. Thinking he'd hate me if I brought it up, I decided to keep it to myself.
俺自身をモデルにしたつもりだったんだが。
Seeing the dumbfounded look on my face, he smiled and brought his face close.
自分と比べちゃった
I mean, you're just so cool. What garbage is this? I was short and quiet. If he was an elephant, I was an ant. Bro, this is killing me. Of course I get nervous.
プライドと葛藤を捨て小さくうなずく翔太郎。そのぎこちなくも奥ゆかしい所作にアキラくんは
Alright, just have sex, people. My faithfulness was Sho's safe tile. Faithfulness. I didn't want to make him worry or sad. But his face after realizing he was the one who made the mistake. Sho's apologetic face was way too cute. Blah blah blah,
な
yeah.
んかごめん。
ああ俺が悪い全部悪い
And I feel I have no feeling for this at all. Even if Sho was a girl, by the way, I wouldn't feel anything about the scene.
そうだね。
I feel like these sort of scenes are trash. That's my 2 cents on it.
でも翔ちゃんのためで
I lied to him about being published in a boys magazine because
それも分かってる。だから僕が一番悪い。
Alright, that's a dick there, right? That's a dick that you're actually biting, right? So patreon.com Azaikyousuke. You guys on YouTube. I'll see you guys next time after the scene ends. So yeah, I'm definitely not reading this. This is A-grade trash. See you guys. Alright, seems it's actually... Wow! That's the end of... What? There's only 3 chapters? What is going on now? I was gonna say we're back, and that was actually the lengthiest 8 scene we got. But I guess if it's like the end of the chapter, that makes sense. It was also a lot more comedic, so I actually chuckled when I was reading a tiny bit of it. Basically, the Akira of that world is still a virgin, so he was kind of nervous about having his first sex again. And he couldn't come. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, it was a pretty wholesome one. Not as smutty as the other ones. But still not my kind of thing, you know. I guess we're gonna play a tiny bit of chapter 2 because I've only been recording for about an hour 14 minutes. So I don't know what these other chapters are gonna be about though. Considering we also unlocked chapter 2. The hell? Crystal Knights. So that's Chotsugai. I guess we're gonna be controlling
夢の
him.
中でね、遊園地へ行ったんだ。
Or not control, but we're gonna be in his perspective.
遠くにお城が見えたの。
Forgot to turn off the auto text there.
ベルちゃん、いつかお城で結婚式をしようね。
We are missing a lot of context even though we finished the first chapter,
ベル
so
ちゃん、
hopefully this makes, you know, what we just read a lot more sense. I was also watching
ベル
like
ちゃん、
mostly a bike review during the 8 scene there.
ごめんね、ベルちゃん、
The heck is Belle?
ごめんよ。
平気平気よ痛くない
僕のせいだ。ヒカロス、来て、助けてよ。
お願い泣かないで
ヒカロス、ヒカロス。
So she's turning into a kaiju, I guess?
ヒカロス。
静かにしないと
Shiro is Chotsugai. I woke up to my heart beating out of my chest. I cautiously peeked my face out from under the comforter and looked around the room with only my eyes. The grain of the wood on the ceiling, the morning light. There was a small bird chirping outside of the window. I found nothing that could have fueled my nightmare. I gulped saliva down my parched throat and finally sat up. It was just a dream. Still, it was a dream that had left me shaken to the core. I changed out of my sweaty pajamas and into a shirt, then checked the mail and grabbed the morning newspaper. I forgot all about my dream, or at least I wanted to anyway. I couldn't help scowling when I saw the headlines about Icarus's heroic endeavors. A close call. Rescue mission. Thank you, Icarus. The lackluster words just made my mood sour even more. I crumpled it up and threw it into the trash can, burying my rage into the pit of my stomach by gulping down a glass of milk. I then quickly finished up my day's work. A few minutes after I started some careful maintenance on my camera, the bells in the first floor door rang. Ignoring the footsteps coming up the stairs, I finished fiddling with the lens. I'm guessing this is actually still the same world. So we're just seeing this in his perspective from beginning to finish. So we're probably still seeing the same events happening.
宮本くんおはよう。朝から元気いっぱいだな。
なんだか不機嫌ですね。
君がうるさいからだろ。
せっかく来てあげたのに。そんなこと言うなら帰っちゃいますよ。
金は出している。今日君をどう扱おうが僕の勝手だ。
I guess Chotsugai's girl, quote unquote, is gonna be Ishiki, isn't it?
ほんと性格クズ。それに宮本くんじゃありません。ウランちゃんです。
宮本くん、君が書いた女性ナインの記事読んだぞ。
ほんと？ありがとうございます。
She jumped up and clapped her hands together this time. I wanted to jump around with her too. If she were actually a decent person with any sense.
僕の撮った写真無断で掲載したな。報酬を受け取っていないんだが。
くれたのかと思って。
あげるか普通。
If they had been published across a 2-page spread, it would have actually seemed like an accident. See, she knew exactly what she was doing by sticking them in there randomly. She knew I didn't normally read her magazine, so it was clearly intentional. She had the nerve to use one on the cover this time. There's no way I wouldn't notice. At this point, I wasn't even sure if she had done it on purpose or if she was just an airhead.
とにかく半年分の観光物を僕に送れ。
何するつもりです？
Gonna check it, of course.
流用されていないか確認するだけだ。
社会部のみんなに迷惑かけたくない。
Every closet has its skeletons. I was tired of hearing about righteous journalists.
いい機会だ。君も大いに反省を。
もう手伝ってあげませんよ。
いや、だな。
もう買い取りもしませんよ。
She was shrinking back like a little girl, but it was like she had a gun fixed on me. Suddenly, my stomach churned. Apparently, the milk I chugged earlier was coming up on me. This girl was cheerfully rocking in her chair. Unfortunately, we were stuck at a red light. I didn't want to be trapped in here with Miyamoto for another second. I didn't have anyone else I could rely on other than her, though. When I glanced to my side, her sparkling and passionate gaze was turned toward me. It was so bright, I had to look back in order to figure out what was going on in that head of hers.
なんだ。
なんでも？
I stepped on the gas as I let out a long sigh. What a creepy girl. People were always telling me you seemed hard to live with. When I'd reply, shouldn't you be the one embarrassed by the way you live? They answered, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That was when they would start avoiding me. Miyamoto was different. No matter how much we argued, 1 second later, she was back in high spirits. It must have been some kind of illness. That was how our mutually convenient relationship as journalist and photographer could stay strong. I parked the car in the parking lot by the train station and we walked all the way to Golden City. Golden City? supposed to be like somewhere in Shinjuku. I know there's a place in Shinjuku, something guy, right? Where there's like lots of bars, like in a row. The show bar Papa was located all the way at the end, around a corner, and then even further down another corner after that. This is probably a reference to that place.
お待ちしてましたわ。オーナーのパパです。蝶つがいです。急な依頼でごめんなさいね。それじゃあ蝶つがいさん、助手さん、早速こちらへどうぞ。
Usually it's Mama. The job was to take promotional photos for the bar's grand reopening. Supposedly, he had found my photo studio while taking a walk around Sangenjaya. It would have been difficult to bring all his employees to the studio, so we came to him.
ミオまだ来てないの？あの子もういいわ。ブーちゃん、あんたがミオの格好して。
They all broke out into laughter. I smiled a few seconds late.
ごめんなさいね。では集合写真は後にして個別の撮影を先に。予定変更になっちゃったわね。
臨機応変ってやつですよ。
では準備のできている方から。
My raised hand was pierced by a cold silence. What happened to all that friendly chatter from earlier? You guys had absolutely no motivation. They didn't want to be here this early? They were bloated and didn't want their picture taken? You've got to be kidding me. What? You guys think you're the main attraction at the menagerie? I actually don't know what that means. Don't make me laugh. The world was full of filth. I realized that as soon as I began looking through a viewfinder. I extracted the ephemeral beauty of the grotesque. Yeah, he tries to find, you know, the beautiful in the pictures, even though he knew what was going on behind the scenes, right? It was all lies, and that was my job. I finished taking pictures at 5 o'clock, way past the agreed upon time.
それでは。お待ちなすって。
The owner pulled out a newspaper folded into 4 from under his sparkly sleeve. It was the one from this morning with all the annoying Icarus headlines.
イカロスに倒されたこの子。実はここの作業員だったの。
Before I knew it, everyone had gone backstage and there was no one left in the area. Perhaps afraid of the others would hear, the owner lowered his voice.
この町の子が好きでね。女の子だけど一生懸命働いてたのよ。それが何か。これを見てちょうだい。
He handed me a thin memo sheet. Unable to refuse, I took it as Miyamoto looked on, full of curiosity.
お手紙ですか？
いいえ。遺書よ。
The shaky letters were written firmly.
なぜこれを僕に？
Got sex and you still wouldn't love me. I'll become a kaiju and destroy everything. Hell, it's all your fault. Okay? So, I mean, we saw that.
このベルというオカマを探してほしいの。
Drag queen? How do you know that she's a drag queen? Except Okama, so that's like a sissy. I don't think Japan actually has a name for a drag queen. Yeah, Okama is sissy.
長いことここでやっているけど、ベルなんて子は知らないわ。セックスしてるなら、その子にも感染してるってことでしょ？この町に危険が広がる前に見つけて追い出したいの。だってあなた探偵写真スタジオリンカーネーションの社長でしょ？
探偵？
Just in my place, sounding like an idiot.
ああ、そっか。社長のスタジオ、昔探偵事務所が借りてたでしょ？窓に大きく探偵って書いてあって。夜になると消したはずの文字が街明かりで浮かび上がっちゃうんですよね。
なんでそんなことになってんだよ。後で清掃会社に連絡します。
勘違いということかしら。せっかく7万ご用意したのに。
70,000? I mean, that's about 700 bucks, I guess. I don't know how much money that was back in the 1970s, though. He handed me a manila envelope. I smiled as I slid it into my breast pocket.
嬉しいわ。
いいの？だってこの人ただのカメラマンですよ。
帝大法学部卒の秀才でしょ。頼りになるわ。
Already background checked me.
ちょっと社長、引き受けちゃっていいんですか？
いいわけないだろ。これだけ持ってとんずらする。
Today's job was a waste of my time. It wouldn't have been worth it without this little tip. Miyamoto stopped and glared at me.
私は嫌ですよ。そんなの犯罪じゃん。オーナーいい人だったし、本気で困ってる人、私放っておけません。
I'm liking you more and more, Chotsugai. The way she emphasized the end of her sentence didn't sound like it was coming from a renowned gossip writer. I took out just the money from the manila envelope and spread the bills in front of her.
悪戦は使い切るのが一番だ。
まさか。
Time to waste it on booze. Even without saying anything, she grinned.
もう、しょうがないな、もう。
And she really likes to drink, huh? She plucked the money out of my hand and skipped away. It was all just a cheeky little act to get hush money out of me. Oh, clicked on something there. What a lowlife. I'm loving your monologue, Chotsugai. Just for the sake of keeping her around for now. I'm an arrogant person by nature, guys, and I think about this stuff a lot too. When I see people who are clearly, disgusting to me. Well, more like so I wouldn't make an enemy out of her. I let Miyamoto choose the bar. I mean, unlike Chotsugai, I will voice out my thoughts though to those people. There were a few other people riding the large elevator with us. If it's strangers, I don't, but if it's someone that I'm familiar with, I definitely will voice out my thoughts. By the time we reached the top floor, it was just us two. Quiet conversations were exchanged amidst the jazz music. We sat at the counter where there were less people.
おすすめの赤。
Likes to drink wine.
かしこまりました。
The bartender's eyes turned to me. I'll have the same, I said as I gestured to the woman next to me, my chin. Is that Yomi?
けど、押しかけられたらどうするつもりですか？
警察を呼ぶ。真面目な奴は探偵を頼らない。あのオーナーも後ろめたいことがあるんだろう。
ほんと悪魔みたいな洞察力。しびれるんですけど。
I mean, he's not entirely wrong. That is a very pragmatic way of looking at it, though. That is like straight up no empathy way. And I thought I'm not empathetic. You're the one who's way scarier when you make a face like that, I thought. The bartender showed us the label in the bottle. I gave him an indifferent nod as I took out the suicide note.
しかし、不気味なものを押し付けられたな。
セックスまでしたのに。
読み上げるな。自分の人生を5行で集約できるとは。しかもこんな薄っぺらい紙にな。
The bartender handed me a glass. A deep red wine wavered inside. Miyamoto gulped hers down like water, then wiped off the lipstick on the lip of her glass with her finger. I hate wine, by the way. I mean, maybe I've only drank like cheap wine, but I don't know, I just don't like the taste. I handed her a napkin. A new jazz song began to play.
社長優しい。ってこれ、衣装じゃん。
どうせ捨てるんだ。
Miyamoto's eyes softened.
さすがにバチ当たっちゃいますよ。
罰を清めるために酒を飲んでいるんだろう。
Miyamoto held out her empty glass toward the bartender. He grabbed it from her and poured a rose from a freshly opened bottle into a new glass. Miyamoto's grin widened at his choice.
私ってそんなに可愛く見えます？
はい。
だってさ。
叩くんじゃない。
The red wine and the pink rose mixed and spread through her cheeks. I had absolutely no intention of enjoying drinks with this woman. There was something I wanted to forget with alcohol.
ベル。な。
Same name? I guess the Belle in our memory was actually our sister or something. My dream from this morning and the contents of the suicide note both involved the name Belle.
怪獣を探し出せって依頼でしたね。
It wasn't a job. It was a curse.
仲間内で勘ぐり合うとは愚かな生き物だな。オカマなんてのは種の結果。それが怪獣に怯えるとは滑稽だ。
It's not cross-dressing, he's actually being a sissy.
すこぶる饒舌。
最近はシスターボーイとかなんとか言い換えているがヘドが出る。
Boys, back in 1970s, there's no fucking way. Miyamoto opened her hands like a lotus and rested her chin on them as she looked at me with her passionate gaze.
そしてホモに惚れる女も同様だ。
社長最高。こりゃ誰とも結婚できないわ。
おい、今なんて言った？できないんじゃない、しないんだ。僕には運命の相手が。
イエーイ、純潔。童貞ヒュー。
Shut up already. I emptied my glass and demanded another to improve my mood.
お冷やをどうぞ。
失礼なやつだな。
お代は結構です。足元にお気をつけて。
Is this Ishiki? Could be. Another new jazz song began to play.
貴様ホモだな。目尻に化粧が沈殿しているぞ。貴様が働く場はここではないのでは？
He said nothing. I had a habit of picking fights, but he didn't seem interested. In that case, I'd make it even more obvious I was ready to fight.
かまやろう、ゲイホモ。女のなり損ないどもが男に愛されたいなんて笑わせる。僕の言葉が気に入らないか？日本中の男を代弁したまでだ。
Damn. He's going in on this guy.
おかまは男じゃないって？
ああ、そうだ。
抱かれたいと思うだけがおかまじゃないわ。
はあ？
シロ、あたしに抱かれてみる？
No?
その概念変えてあげるわよ。
Belle? This is his Belle? What? What's going on?
ベルちゃん。
久しぶりね、シロ。
I thought this was supposed to be the sister. Sally wiped away the droplets caught in his lashes with the back of his hands. I'm so confused, guys. His open eyes then turned to me, and narrowed. I threw money down on the counter and backed away. Did I skip something there? No. The light in the elevator was almost obscenely bright. I leaned against the wall, lowered my head, and hit my face. That smile. That voice. That guy. Couldn't be my Belle.
ベルちゃんって呼んでましたね。私、彼のこと調べてあげましょうか。だって、社長の初恋の人と同じ名前で、遺書に書いてあった名前で。
The elevator opened. She skipped away and turned around only once.
調べちゃいますからね。ウランちゃんスクープをお楽しみに。
くそ女。
Oh, what a nosy girl. My consciousness was wavering between my dreams and reality. I used my time stuck in traffic to rest my head on the steering wheel. Belle. What was her full name again? One of my parents' pastimes back in the day was to force me to act in children's films. That was where I met my goddess. I wanted her to like me. I would grab all the treasures in my house and give them to her. What a fucking simp! That's retarded! That's so retarded. And he's a kid too. Imported chocolate. A butterfly brooch. My mom's ring. I've never done this, guys, so I've never tried anything to make someone like me. So, like, I mean everything, right? I mean, I'd show off my personality, and if they don't like me, I'm like, whatever, but changing myself just so that one person likes me, that's retarded. I don't understand that feeling or that emotion at all. It's stupid. I invited her over to my house, but a kaiju suddenly appeared and stole my parents and my little brother away from me and wounded Belle's face. I was taken in by my grandfather and was raised to forget what happened. I wonder how much happier I'd be now if I could have forgotten what happened back then. My feelings for her were still smoldering, still inside me, still alive to this day. Yeah, that's the difference though between me and UuultraC. I don't have anything in my childhood days that I really treasure. I don't. Like, my past is just my past, you know? It shaped me for who I am, but I don't let any emotions from my past, like, haunt me at all. In fact, there's probably none. So much so, I still dreamed about her. But now, horns blared. Traffic had begun to move. The phone was ringing when I got home. It was sent at night, so it couldn't have been a client.
社長、大変なことが分かりましたよ。
おやすみ。
It probably hadn't hurt me, but I slammed the receiver back on the phone. The phone instantly began to ring again. At this rate, it'd be ringing all night.
社長のお休みコールもらっちゃった。
で、何なんだ君は。
本社に帰って遺書の女性について調べたんですが、なんと彼女には夫がいたんです。
夫に飽きてお釜に落ちるとはひどいジェットコースターだな。
問題はそこじゃなくて、怪獣検査の結果、夫は陰性でした。この意味がわかりますか？
No?
彼女はベルちゃんとのセックスで怪獣に感染したんです。
Okay.
女が元から怪獣だった。夫とは交接していなかった。そういうことだろ
いえ、夫の証言で怪獣となる前日までは毎晩セックスしていたと。
う。猿園の話をしているのか？
社長は童貞だからわかんないと思いますけど、若い夫婦ってそんなもんですよ。
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I always think that it's actually weird to have sex every day. I mean, I fap quite often, but I don't have sex. I don't know. I'm saying this because it's pretty much important to my personality, guys, but I fap not really because I want to feel good. It's mostly to expunge bad thoughts in my mind. Like, think about it. When you fap, you don't really want to love someone. You're just like horny and then you just spew it out and then that's it. I don't feel bad about fapping too. Because I told this story before in another playthrough, but back when I was in high school, my friend really disliked fapping since he said that he felt guilty after doing it. I'm like, what? Why would you feel that?
実に面白い。
つまり彼女はベルちゃんに感染させられて、そのショックで怪獣化。そしてベルちゃんの本名は一色すず。
I took off my coat and loosened the tie around my neck. I sat at the edge of my bed and ran my hands through my hair. My goddess was a kaiju. A monster? I couldn't believe it. But I thought it was supposed to be a female. I guess she's always been a drag queen even back then. I must have still been in that nightmare from this morning. Thanks to the alcohol, I fell into a deep sleep. It felt like I had dreamt, but by the time I showered, I had forgotten it. As soon as I began some light cleaning around the studio, a young married couple came in.
おはようございます。おはようございます。予約していた大空です。
Next to the wife was a boy with a straight face. Hiding in his shadow was the younger brother, whatever his name was. I guess these two were my clients today. I smiled wider for the kids. The Polonia box he handed me contained kimonos for the two boys. They were 3 and 5, so today was going to be a Shichi-go-san photoshoot. Shichi-go-san? Dressing boys in kimonos was easy. Unlike girls, I didn't have to mess with their hair or to put on makeup on them. I finished dressing the older brother and was about to start on the younger brother, but... He smacked my hand away.
すみません。女の子の服がいい。
This was probably a daily thing with him. The wife put a hand to her eyes and looked away, embarrassed.
君は男の子だろ。男の子なら普通の格好を。
He began to wail. I immediately looked at the older brother, but instead of chiding his brother or making fun of him, he was looking directly at him.
ほら、お兄様を見てごらん。袴姿がかっこいいね。
いや、
かっこいいよ。
可愛くない。
かわいいよ。
The wife was looking away, shaking with embarrassment. Why am I the one that's actually dressing these guys up? Isn't this peculiar? Hey, do something. It's your son. Isn't Shichi-go-san the perfect opportunity to teach him about gender or whatever? And about what's considered normal? I mean, I don't really care about what's considered normal, as long as you don't force me to believe your sense of normalcy. Suddenly, upbeat music began to play, as if to poke fun at the situation. There was a siren coming from the city speakers. The older brother's eyes began to sparkle as he looked out the window in restless feet. Seeing his brother, the younger one stopped crying.
三軒茶屋のヒーローサイレンだ。怪獣が現れたんだよ。
怪獣？
大丈夫。イカロスがやっつけてくれる。
イカロス？
お、ここにもイカロスがいるぞ。
He placed a red haori over his son's shoulders and gave him a proud smile.
この羽織、イカロスみたいに真っ赤だろう。これを着たら、お前も立派なヒーローだ。
ヒーロー？
I mean, back when I was like super young, I don't really remember much about my parents' upbringing. Like my mom died when I was 7, and my dad didn't really care about me, so I don't think I got to learn about gender roles or gender whatever back when I was younger. So I feel like, you know, learning about gender roles and stuff is a lot less important than you think. You kind of just know what you are as you grow up, right? That's what I think anyway. He gripped the haori and ran up to me. He must have wanted me to put his kimono on him. I did what he wanted with a smile. The hero sirens played to alert people when an evil kaiju showed up. They were invented to make sure people and children didn't panic. Sangenjaya, Shibuya, Shinjuku, and others all had hero sirens set up by their local governments. Luckily, the sirens sounded far away this time. The siren became the background music that made the boys stick out their chests with pride. I continued to release a shudder. The photoshoot ended without any more hitches, and I replaced the camera in my hand with a broom. Someone was coming up the stairs.
蝶つがいさん。
It was Mr. Ozura. Should have left already. He approached me with a grave look on his face.
実は別件で依頼したいことが。
I'm not a detective.
できればその屋上で。
The afternoon sky was passing by low. The hero's siren had already stopped. It was only the exhaust fumes and car horns clouding the sky. His face had lost its color in the same way.
男として相談があります。
He took off his pants. If I was Chotsugai, I would kick his dick. I said this in another playthrough too. I'm pretty confident with my body, but I don't go around showing people my dick, right? That's because I know for a fact that some people are not comfortable seeing someone naked. If you're a beautiful girl, I wouldn't mind. Like, I wouldn't like leer on you or anything, but I would take a look. But if you're a guy, I'm clearly not gay. I'm gonna smack your dick. He slid his underwear off too. He didn't have a penis. Okay, you don't have a penis? The man who had been running his mouth about superheroes and whatnot had no penis.
夜のゴールデン街で酔いつぶれて目覚めたらチンコがなくなっていたんです。
Someone cut it off?
で、きっと怪獣の仕業なんです。助けてください。蝶津貝さんは探偵業もなさっているんでしょう。
ですね。
お願いします。変態怪獣がイカロスに倒される前に俺のチンコを取り返してください。
So kaijus can do that, huh? They can actually remove a limb without actually cutting it off. Just like what happened in, chapter 1. When Icarus's, Kozuka's leg and arm was gone.
なくてもいいんじゃないですか。お子さんも2人いらっしゃいますし。
取り返すのは無理だって言うんですか。
I'm saying I don't care. Mr. Ozar was a young businessman. He was a moron, but he did manage to grow his business on the back of the Olympics market. So, he was a regular client of mine.
一応聞きますが、おいくらで
40万。
This guy is way too, driven by money. I personally don't care about money, as long as I can live comfortable. Like, I live my life, with savings and also, doing some trade marketing, doing some day trading. But, yeah, I don't live a life of luxury, right? But, I'd rather do this than actually waste my time working in a job that I clearly dislike to earn money and then living my life wage by wage. Think about it. You're wasting like 8 hours of your time 5 times a day. That's 40 hours. I'd rather do that for something I enjoy. I was the moron for not asking from the start. I was once again dragged into one more thing I really didn't need to bother with right now. I headed out to Shinjuku's Golden City at dusk. But yeah, Golden Guy, it's not a reference, it's actually the place in Shinjuku. I didn't know the fact that the English for guy was city. So that's why I didn't know about it. I found the last bar Mr. Ozora had visited using the notes I took from him. Chanko Nabe restaurant. It was hardly such. It was basically a hole in the wall. Nevertheless, I took a photo of the entrance. I came all the way here but couldn't find anything. I'll just take enough for my travel expenses. Yeah, let's go with that. It was the oldest trick in the book for bad PIs, but it was his own fault for choosing someone like me.
あら、蝶津貝さん。精が出るわね。一件一件当たってくれているの？でも、どうかこっそりね。みんなを不安にさせたくないの。
Remembering that bartender's face, my eyes began to wonder.
もしゴールデン街の外まで調べてくれるって言うなら、そうね。もう7万上乗せするわ。
This guy doesn't seem like he's really, poor or anything. I don't understand why he's really into the money. The guilt made my cheeks twitch. Perhaps mistaking it for a smile, the owner left satisfied. I wasn't here to complete the owner's request. Once I was sure he was gone, I turned back to Chanko. When I knocked on the door jam, what's a jam? The restaurant owner stopped his prep work. He wiped his fat hands on a small towel as he came out of the restaurant.
なに
ここで酔いつぶれた男が何者かに大事なものを奪われました。
心
I couldn't bring myself to say it, so I showed him the nude photo I took of Mr. Ozura instead.
ま
I didn't think I needed to censor it. There was nothing between his legs in the first place.
私のお店もついに被害者出しちゃったか。
ついに
チンコモギ怪獣、昔っから有名なの。私は逆に会いたいけどね。
ずいぶん他人事ですね。自分がつまみ出したせいで被害に遭われた方がいるというのに。
しょうがないでしょ。ご覧の通り、こんなに狭い店内よ。
酔った人はどこへ？
神社の裏手にぽい。みんなそうしているわ。
Do they go to apologize for their illegal dumping? If I were a god, I would have scorched the earth by now. There was a thick grove of trees behind the shrine. The dim lights only made it more creepy. Guess I had no other choice. I sat down and leaned against the shrine. I pretended to act so drunk that no one would want to come near me if they saw me. Once the sun went down, I heard some suspicious sounding footsteps coming closer. Every once in a while, they would make a point to step on a branch to see just how conscious I was. As soon as they came too close, I grabbed the camera and was hiding in my coat.
あら、蝶つがいさんじゃないの。
Ah, it's him.
こんなところに何の用だ？
I guess he was the killer all along, huh? Even though he noticed my confusion, the owner continued to grin.
お礼を言うわ。ベルの正体がわかったの。あなたの助手のウランちゃんが教えてくれたのよ。報酬は彼女に渡したわ。ベルってゴミも追い出せたし、まあこれで。私もみんな気が楽っていうかね。
That's not why you're here. Just my luck.
そして、
僕は交渉しに来た。大空社長のブツを返せ。それだけだ。もちろんただとは言わない。彼からの依頼料をお前に。
あんたバカせっかく手に入れたおちんちん返すわけないじゃない。
He closed in on me fast. By the time I stood up, his long nails were pressed against my throat.
あの虚婚にあんたを紹介したのはあたし。あんたがここに来るようにね。
何が目的だ？
あんたは汚れたちりとり。ゴミと一緒に捨てるのよ。
I felt the pain run down my throat in the darkness.
ただのアルコールよ。手軽に殺せるの。
I frantically pushed him away. I tried to run away, but my vision blurred. Was he falling? Or was I? Either way, I continued to use the flash in my hand. With every flash, his body, no, the monster's body expanded.
すごくかわいいけど、すっごくおバカそれってすっごくあたし好み。
I was waiting for him to say, ugh, but he didn't say it. He used both his hands to block my escape route, his hot breath getting closer. I tried to throw my camera at his eye, but his needle-like tongue grabbed it.
あなたは死んでもね。うん。おちんちんは生きるから。
Why did you actually make the Mr. Ozora survive though? You took his penis. Why did you let him live?
私の大事なコレクションとして水晶みたいなガラスの中で
I was about to die. If I was a foreigner, I'd be praying to God. A Japanese person would be calling out Icarus's name. I knew the truth though. There were no miracles. My throat was being crushed little by little. My goddess was smiling behind my eyelids. Belle, I wanted to see you at least once before I died. Suddenly, the grip around my neck loosened. My soul came back as I fell straight down. My feverish head finally managed to face forward. There was a figure so white it could have been mistaken for the moon. It wasn't the Icarus we all knew.
強がりなんだから。
That voice.
あんたこの町から出て行ったはずじゃん。
そのつもりでいたけど気が変わったの。
あんたたちグールだったのね。
偶然よ。
The kaiju ignored its severed hand and curled its tail. The white Icarus just stood there and watched it with his piercing gaze.
今からあなたを殺すわ。
ちょっと待って、話し合いましょう。だって私たち
たち
同じオカマじゃないの。
Orange blood flowed and spilled along the ground. So unlike the first chapter, this clearly shows that, you know, shows like evil kaiju, right? The blood soaking into Icarus's feet made for a beautiful sight. I almost went looking for my camera to make that scene last. You know, if I was in this world, I probably wouldn't care about humans or kaiju. They're both garbage. Let's be real, there are bad humans and bad kaiju. It doesn't matter. Both sides are garbage and trash. Was I crazy or sane right now? When I turned around, he was smiling under his mask. Or at least that's what it felt like. Alright, I think this is gonna be where I call it an episode. No, before I end, probably we should get that call. Oh, it actually stopped ringing, alright. I thought that I should take the call or, you know, continue the sentence first until we know who it is. It turns out they're considered enough to get rid of the sound effect. Even though we're still in this dialogue right here, dialogue box. But yeah, we're learning a lot more in this new chapter for sure. But it's a lot more straightforward, this chapter. And I kind of enjoy it. I did enjoy the first chapter too, but there were definitely some crazy disconnects at the very end there. Probably the last 30%, which is last episode. At the end, I sorta, kinda, maybe get it, but I don't know. Let's just hope that chapter 2 and chapter 3 gives us a lot clearer image of what's going on. I like Chotsukai, but I don't think I would like Belle. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon will be getting these episodes early access along with everything uncensored. YouTube members, you'll also be getting these early access, but nothing uncensored. But don't worry guys, the 8 scene in this game, they're mostly just smut. So you're not really missing out on much. But yeah, for people on Patreon, YouTube that aren't on Patreon just yet, feel free to become a free member because that's gonna be where I put first episode previews of your future playthroughs. See ya!